iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
All right, hey there everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. Got a lot of baseball to talk to you about today. We'll look at last night's games. I certainly want to do some two-start pitchers. In fact, I may start with two-start pitchers right now. First of all, start with the Braves. Nobody's really going there two starts, so you're good. For the Diamondbacks, Robbie Ray gets the Detroit Tigers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. I like Ray this week, so you've got my blessing to start him in a two-start week. The Orioles, Kevin Gausman goes twice and Ubaldo Jimenez goes twice. I hate Ubaldo Jimenez. I'm still going to hold on to Gausman. And I had this decision in a couple of leagues. I benched him this week because I need to see something good before I can endorse him. I can't endorse him unless I finally see one good start. Now, if I get one good start this week, I'll be back on the Gausman train. But right now, I can't do that. And I think that would be irresponsible of me to tell you to start him, certainly when I wouldn't. Drew Pomeranz has two starts this week. I really like him. Mike Pelfrey, the slump buster, has two starts. Please don't start him. In fact, I would start my Twins and my Padres in DFS those days. He stinks. Arrieta's got two starts. I don't need to tell you to start him. Rookie Davis and Tim Adelman, two starts. I don't trust Tim Adelman. I know he's looked good, but please, I just don't think you can trust Adelman. Certainly against the Yankees, who've been playing so hot, no chance for me. Trevor Bauer, no chance. Antonio Senzatella, I think, would be interesting, but they may be rained out tonight, and then they play the Cubs. And then he's going to get the Dodgers. So I don't hate him, but he's at home, which I hate. And he's got two good hitting teams, which I hate. So I'm going to tell you to bench him. And I may, in fact, bench him as well. Justin Verlander's got two starts. You know to start him for the Tigers. Charlie Morton, I do like. He's got Atlanta. He's got the Yankees. I think he can get Atlanta and make some swings and misses. The Yankees would be a tough start for him, but I do like him certainly on Tuesday. Nate Karns has two starts against Tampa and Baltimore in what we like the revenge game, right? The Nate Karns was a Ray. I think he will be motivated to pitch well tonight. I do like him. Brandon McCarthy's interesting, but he's got Colorado later in the week, so I'll pass on that. Adam Conley with two starts. His ERA has been atrocious this year. I'll pass. Willie Peralta, I'll pass. For the Angels, Ricky Nolasco, I will pass. Let's see. Hector Santiago, he's pitched well, but the White Sox and Indians both hit lefties well, so not loving that as a two-start pitcher. Tanaka's got Cincinnati and Houston, but you got to start Tanaka, right? There's no way you can't. Jacob deGrom, you're certainly starting. Let's see. The next one is Trevor Williams. For the Pirates. Trevor Trainwreck. No way. I do like Trevor Cahill. Speaking of Trevors I like. Trevor Cahill has Texas, and he's got the White Sox. I think he's a good start this week. I like him. Ariel Miranda has the Phillies and the Blue Jays. The problem is he has them on the road, so I don't like him as much. Matt Moore, I think, has problems. He's got the Mets and he's got Cincinnati. Samardzija, I don't really like either. Carlos Martinez, maybe the first start's okay, but he gets the Cubs later in the week, which scares me. Blake Snell has the Royals and the Red Sox, so I would pass on him. Nick Martinez has San Diego and Oakland, but I don't trust Nick Martinez. I do like Marcus Stroman. I think he's a good start. A.J. Griffin's an interesting start. A.J. Griffin gets the Padres and then the A's. A.J. Griffin is prone to letting up the home run, but, hey, Petco and Oakland, I think A.J. Griffin could be okay. I'm not loving him, but he could be okay. Gio Gonzalez I like. Gio Gonzalez tonight against Baltimore with a 1.64 ERA, and Baltimore struggles against lefties. I think he's a pretty good start tonight. And then he gets the Phillies later in this week, and Max Scherzer, of course, gets two starts. So what's not to like about Max Scherzer? he is sensational. So let's look at the night in baseball here. Giancarlo Stanton had 2 home runs against a Mets pitcher, Adam Wilk. I mean, that was an easy start in DFS purposes. The Yankees go 18 innings. That's right, 18 innings, which just kills you. Didi Gregorius, 0 for 8. Starlin Castro, 0 for 8. Chase Headley, 0 for 7. Very rarely do you ever see guys go like 6 for 8 in these games. I mean, really. But Luis Severino, can we just stop and talk about him for a second? 7 innings, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. I mean, this guy is terrific. He is the epitome of the post-hype sleeper. That's what he is, the post-hype sleeper. He is, if you don't have a number 1 starter, if your team lacks a true number 1 starter, I could argue that Luis Severino is a borderline guy. I mean, his whip is microscopic. The strikeouts are good. He's been a very good pitcher. So, I've already had trade offers for him in a couple of leagues I'm in, and I'm not moving him. I'm not moving him. Another guy I want you to watch out for, Mike Montgomery for the Cubs. 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He's entering their rotation. Does he stick? I don't know. I've never really liked Brett Anderson, so I wouldn't mind seeing him stick. The Blue Jays beat the Rays 2-1. Alex Cobb starting to pitch better. Still not striking out a lot of guys, but he looked good. Joe Biagini, 4 innings, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts. This guy's got to build up the innings, but I don't hate Biagini. I don't hate him at all. I think he's somebody you might want to put on your short list. Kevin Pillar, 2 for 3, hitting .313 for the year. Baltimore wins 4-0 over the White Sox. Jose Quintana with a loss there. Jose Quintana just needs to get out of Chicago. Really does. I think it's affecting him. Chris Tillman gets the win. I'm not a big Chris Tillman guy, not at all, but I just think Quintana has had good games, some bad games. Baltimore doesn't hit lefties well, and he's letting Mancini and Ricard just light them up there. So that's not very good. The Cardinals against the Braves. Tommy Pham, 2 home runs and a stolen base. He's interesting. He's not a guy that I love, but he's a guy who's decent. This guy's decent. And if he plays every day, I have a little more respect for him than you think I do. Kevin Seagrass getting the save here. Rosenthal had pitched during the game. O had pitched during the game. But they don't get any part of the decision. Milwaukee against the Pirates. I had given you guys last week Zach Davies, and I still hold to that. He is getting better and better. I know it still hasn't been great. I get that. But it's getting better, right? It's getting better, and I thought he was going to be Kyle Hendricks light. So his ERA has gone from like 7 or 8 down to 5.5. It will continue to drop. So keep your eye on him. I also want to talk about Eric Thames. Now, I'm not going to say anything to you that you haven't heard of before, except the fact that this guy has played great. But I want to talk about this. I have felt that what makes a great baseball player is not in times of sucking. Can you dig yourself out of the ditch? So here's what I mean by that. Jimmy Connors, the former great tennis player, used to say, when he was playing well, the ball would look like a grapefruit, and when he wasn't, the ball would look like a pea. Baseball's the same way. When you're up there at the plate and you're seeing the ball well, it looks big like a beach ball and you hit it. And when you're struggling, it looks like a little pebble, like a pea. And Eric Thames, like every other hitter, went through a period where he struggled. But he's bouncing back out of that. And that's what you want to see. You want to see him come back. You want to see him come back and get and stick to it, right? And bounce back out of the struggle. Those hitters who do that have successful years. And I think he's more than capable of that. I like Eric Thames. All right, Boston beats the Twins 17-6. Chris Sale finally gets a lot of run support. But I want to talk about Irvin Santana. Irvin Santana got off to a great start this year, but this was inevitable. So I want to talk about this. Is he a bad pitcher? No. Did he have a bad start? Yes. Did he let up four home runs? Absolutely. Absolutely. But Baseball is not like football. Pitchers have 30 some odd starts. 5 to 7 are going to suck. This was a bad one for Irvin Santana. 5 to 7 are going to be great. So it's about the other 20. So if 5 starts are amazing and 5 starts stink, what about the other 20? That's the other thing. That's the 20 that you need more of to be good than bad. When that happens, you've got yourself a very good player. Right? When that happens, you have yourself a very good player. I'll tell you, speaking of good players, Eric Hosmer is doing much better right now. He's gotten hot recently. And yesterday, you're going to look at the box score and say 0 for 1. But here's what I liked. 0 for 1 with 3 walks. You know what that tells me? He's seeing the ball better. 3 walks tells me he's seeing the ball better. That's what you want out of your hitters. You want them to see the ball. Okay? The Phillies beat the Nationals 6-5. Tanner Roark actually had a decent start. The bullpen blew it for them. I've got to think, though, that the Nationals have to make a play. They need themselves a closer. And I'm very intrigued by Kelvin Herrera. If they could get him, I would absolutely be very excited about that. I really would. Be very excited about Herrera. I think he makes perfect sense there. The Rockies beat the Diamondbacks 5-2. Greg Holland with his 13 saves. 9 pitches, 9 strikes. That's what you're talking about. I picked him up in a couple of leagues before the year started. I couldn't be any happier with him. And kudos to the Rockies for taking a shot on him. Kudos to the Rockies. How many teams were going to do that? Not many at all. Not many at all did, and it's reaped the rewards for them. Houston beats the Angels 5-3. Shoemaker takes the loss. Didn't pitch very well. But Ken Giles with his 8th save. I like Giles coming into the year. I told everybody I like Giles. I like the Astros. Somebody had put a post on Scout Fantasy in the message board and said they are going to Vegas. Who should they bet money on? I said the Astros. Sean Child said the Mets. That guy put money on the Mets. Bad life decision. Always listen to Dr. Roto. Please. Come on. A's beat Detroit 8-6. Francisco Rodriguez is going to lose that job very soon. Probably to Justin Wilson. Maybe Joe Jimenez will get that job. I'd love to see that happen. James McCann with his 6 home run. Of course, he's only hitting 149 on the season. Ugh. But Yonder Alonso with a 9th home run for the year. Ryan Healy with a home run. So I think the A's are only going to get better. And let me tell you something. Franklin Barreto is not far away. Adam Rosales stinks. You bring in Franklin and Barreto, going to be better. So they've got Davis and Healy and Alonso and Barreto. They may make another trade. I'm sure they'll trade Rajai Davis if they can, and Jed Lowry if they can. All right, Seattle beats Texas 4-3. Edwin Diaz gets his 6th save. Andrew Kashner was actually not disgusting, but Sam Dyson lets up a home run to Kyle Seager, who still really hasn't gotten hot yet. Only has 2 home runs. 2 home runs only. He's going to get 25, so he will get hot. So that's a buy low for me right now. Kyle Seager, big time buy low for me. And we talked about that last week, buying low and selling high. And I did an article about that on Scout Fantasy. You can check that out today, where I give you the list of the overvalued players thus far this year. And here's one right now. I did the hitting edition, but if there's a pitching edition, I'll give you the name of one of those pitchers, Scott Feldman. Scott Feldman is not going to have a complete game with 5 strikeouts every time out. He's just not that good. He outpitched Johnny Cueto. I mean, if they did this 10 times, 1 out of 10, this is a 10%er. I don't think Scott Feldman's really that good. So what I'm going to try to do on Scout Fantasy is I had an overvalued hitting article. I'll do an overvalued pitching article this week. Later this week, I will do an undervalued hitting, the 9 hitters I want you to try to get, and maybe some undervalued pitching. And I think those are the guys I want you to trade for, because I think right now is when I like trading to commence in fantasy leagues. Right now, you can take advantage of people. So, for example, in my article, and I'll give it away, I told people to trade Ryan Zimmerman. What? Trade Ryan Zimmerman? Are you crazy, Dr. Roto? You're insane. I'm not insane. Let me ask you this question. Before the year started, if I said Ryan Zimmerman was going to play 100 games, would you be happy? You probably would say yes. Next. If I said he'd hit 20 home runs and 80 RBIs, would you be happy? You'd say, yeah, for sure. He's got 13 home runs and 34 RBIs right now. He's hitting 435 on the year. So he's already given you 65% of the home runs you were hoping for and almost half of the RBIs. Right? So if I trade him now and I can get a lot back for him and I get a guy who's underperforming now who performs highly the rest of the way, I'm making out of this deal. Now, I'm not just going to give Zimmerman away. No way. But if I can make a good deal where somebody's going to overpay me for Zimmerman because this person thinks that Zimmerman is going to do what he's done now all year, I'm going to make that deal. So these are overvalued guys that I'd like to see if I can move. Is Marwin Gonzalez going to hit 29 home runs in the year? No way, Jose. Sorry, no way, Marwin. Not going to happen. So, buy low, sell high. You want to do it in the stock market? You want to do it in fantasy sports. It's really simple. Keep things simple. That's how you win leagues. You know how else you win leagues? By going to scoutfantasy.com. Entering the promo code ROTO. That's ROTO. You pay for 1 month. We'll get you 2 more for free. You get access to our MLB optimizer. You get access to our message boards. You get access to our articles and information. Sean Childs is already working on his football outlooks. Oh my God, it's May, and he's already doing his team outlooks. The Buffalo Bills are available. So you fantasy football fans, come on. Our DFS hub for golf has been amazing. People have been winning droves of money in there. Seriously. Not even playing. And by the way, I gave out the win of the Kentucky Derby. I said always dreaming. So there's a lot going on in the Scout Fantasy message boards, and I want you to be a part of it. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Watch tonight's game in DFS. There's some bad weather going on in Colorado. Chicago's against Colorado. I know that's a game you're going to want to have a piece of, but be careful. Watch the weather closely before you start stacking those lineups. Okay, guys, hope you have a great day. Be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!